Premier of the Gulf Coast wine scene and award-winning food entrepreneur.
I know a lot of you wonder what to do with your moon pies. Well, I've got some wine suggestions for you. Lemon moon pies, Sauvignon Blanc, Chenin Blanc, Pinot Grigio.
Stuart Reb Donald, acclaimed food and travel writer and world-class chef.
I was chef de casserole.
I made the casserole for the Frozen Food Company. For more than a decade, they've combined their expertise to answer your questions and introduce you to the culinary movers and shakers you want or want to know. Four-time Taste Award finalists, 13-time Nappy Award losers. They are the dynamic duo of dining.
Oh.
Talk 1065.
Hey, good morning, good morning, good morning. Dude's over here reliving his dreams of being a rock and roller on Broadway in Nashville.
Lower Broad.
Lower
Broad.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right. Welcome to the Sip and Chew Show. On this
Hey,
beautiful
that's
Sunday
us.
morning. And Stu and I were talking on the way over here. We got nothing to talk about today, so we're gonna just
Nothing
make up-
has ever happened.
We're gonna
That's
make
why.
up stuff. So no, we got some ideas.
We're talking about lower broads.
There we go.
Yeah, three single guys really know.
You're all about that.
we know what to talk about, don't we? Anyway, did I say welcome to? Yeah, I did.
Yes.
Welcome to Sip and Chew Show. So anyway,
Well, how about this weather, huh?
this what the weather is beautiful.
Dang, we're
The
already
weather's
talking about
beautiful.
the weather. It's gonna be a long show.
I spent yesterday was beautiful, and I spent half the day, about 6 hours, in a dryer. I took our dryer apart to put a new seal on the back part of the drum because the other one, the felt was falling out of it and lint and stuff. I made 61 cents. I found 61 cents in the bottom of the dryer.
Yeah.
Take the guts out of it.
The rule is that whoever does the laundry gets to keep whatever money's in the dryer.
I
I have a feeling that the person who fixes the dryer trumps the person who does the laundry.
Yeah, something like that. But I spent all day doing that. I clogged up. There was so much lint and animal hair and dust and everything in the body of that thing
Mm.
because of that rim, being out. And there's no telling how many years it's been out.
Mm.
Uh,
Fire hazard.
but that thing was $75 for that little ring that goes on the back edge. $75.
Makes you
With
wish
that
you had
and the glue.
a 3D printer, doesn't it?
I want to go back to the solar dryer, the clothes hanger,
Oh.
clothesline, and go back to that. I'm gonna tell you, growing up,
Yeah.
when my mother put her clothes out on that clothesline, they were fresh
Oh, yeah.
and they lasted longer.
Unless you get the paper mill around there. Then,
Well, we lived in Pritchard at the time, so yeah, we had 2 paper mills,
yeah,
but
it's fresh, all right.
but there was something about it, made it different than in a clothes dryer. So
See, growing up in Kansas, it was always windy,
mhm.
and that meant a lot of dirt. So it never made a lot of sense to me. Why you wash the sheets and hang them out in the wind, let the dirt flow through.
Mhm.
But that's just me.
Now, there's the thing. Did you ever experience a dust storm when you were growing up?
Oh, gosh, yes.
I
Yeah.
bet that's harrowing.
Yeah, it's interesting.
It's
like,
air that you can't breathe.
right.
Yeah.
And it's like a snowstorm when you can't see,
Yeah.
and it's
So
like
what,
4 feet ahead of you, you can't see 2 feet ahead of you, and the wind and the dust is blowing so bad, and then you got to cover up with, a bandana and try to breathe through the, yeah, it's a lot of fun.
Now, I've watched documentaries on the Great Dust Bowl.
My dad grew up in a dust bowl in the dirty 30s, and,
Yeah.
that's part of the reason why we have kudzu, part of the reason why we have grass,
Mm.
because that was a way to help stop that erosion.
Mhm.
Well, here you go. There was always this, we've always heard this, that when Europeans came over, that the native cultures had this serene culture here where they were never fought, never lied, never stole anything, and they were just completely at rest with nature. But folks, the Great Plains are not natural.
Mm.
They were forests. And the natives found out that if you cut the forest down and let grass grow, the buffalo would all concentrate there.
Exactly. It's
And that's how
it's
we-
called buffalo grass.
And
It's about an inch and a half.
so there's another time where Hollywood has just completely snowed us. What cultures? That same Hollywood would tell you that everybody lived in teepees and
Oh,
every daughter of a chief was called a princess.
yeah, whatever.
So let me, going back to this,
We're still on it.
buffalo.
Great food, by the way.
Yeah.
How come are there buffalo up in upstate New York?
There were
There
buffalo
are.
on the Gulf Coast.
There are.
There are herds in Florida right now.
Yes, but each one of these, the majority of the real bison, are now in Wyoming, Montana, Idaho, Nebraska,
And
South
Canada.
Dakota, Canada. Most of the, even in Kansas still, we have a lot of buffalo.
Yeah. Now, there was a beefalo ranch in Nashville. For those who don't know, that is a hybrid of a bison and regular domestic cow.
Black Angus most of the time.
Is it Black
Yeah,
Angus? Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
they're both about the same size. Trust me, in a pen,
Yeah.
you don't want to be in either one.
Yeah. But it is healthier than standard beef and cheaper than bison
Yes.
was the draw of it. And but I'll tell you,
It's lean, man.
I could never eat, as much as I love steak, I could go the rest of my life and never eat another cow as long as I have all the bison. I just can't afford it.
And venison.
Yeah, I'm good with several. The backstrap is delicious on
Yes.
venison, and he is talking of venison too in that part of the country and further out west that includes more than just white-tailed deer.
Right.
It's going to be elk,
Mhm.
antelope, moose.
Yes.
Is all that is venison.
If you can get a moose,
Yeah, I've heard. I had not tried. I don't even think I've had moose jerky. There was a convenience store in Nashville that carried jerky from all over the world. So I got to try kangaroo.
Kind of like that place in
Yeah,
at the wharf.
Yeah.
right. The World of Jerky, I think.
I had python. I brought python.
It was terrible, horrible. But through jerky, I've gotten to try.
Like chicken.
I've gotten to eat a lot of the Lord's creations, and kangaroo is delicious.
Never
But
had that.
I worked with a lady when I was at corporate America, and her husband was a big game hunter. And because of that, she had not eaten meat that came from a grocery store in over 10 years. She was in probably her early to mid 50s in fantastic shape, didn't really try because she ate all this lean protein all the time.
Mhm.
One year for Christmas, she brought a bunch of summer sausages of the various animals. And Stevie loved, there was mountain ram,
Oh.
he had shot in Utah.
Mm.
And all of this is the best summer sausage I've ever had in my life. And all these other nerds were just like, I'm not eating if it's not a cow, a pig, or a chicken. I went, more for me. Man, that summer sausage was phenomenal.
Mhm.
And, each one of them, wherever he bagged his game, he did a lot in Wyoming and Montana. He did Utah, Northern California. They would just find a processor there. And
Mhm.
I want this for steaks and this for stews, and
Right.
make the rest of it summer sausage.
Right.
And man, it was delicious.
Mhm. Now, here's a rarity that most people, speaking of people, PETA starts to scream.
Yeah.
Cougar,
Yeah.
mountain lion. They can become problems in
Right.
Colorado, and so they do have a.
And it's a problem not having them too.
Exactly. So there's a
all
balance.
4 of the major parks in Utah were undergoing extreme erosion because they had eliminated mountain lions from
Mhm.
the park,
Mhm.
which then let the venison we were talking about go wild, growing because they had no predator to keep them in control. So then they didn't have enough grass to feed the herd, so they started eating the shoots of small trees.
Yeah.
And without the roots of the trees, you get erosion. Same thing happened in Yellowstone when they eliminated the wolves.
Yep.
That's why they put the wolves back in Yellowstone.
It's interesting how all that ties together.
Yeah.
People don't think about it.
Yep.
So there's a circle of life.
Well, Einstein had an entire theory about it.
Mike and his. Okay.
Yeah, but I mean, when Einstein was talking about his theory of relativity, he meant that too. Everything is connected.
Absolutely. To every reaction
There is
is an equal and
yeah.
opposite reaction.
Yeah, and I stress it all the time on my YouTube channel, Delta Safari, that conservation and progress can coexist. All it takes is an effort.
Called balance.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But too much either way is bad for everybody.
Yeah.
But if everybody gives a little, meets a common ground, that's good for everyone.
You bet.
251-343-0106. Michael, what does that number do?
That is our call in and text in line. We'd love to hear from you this morning.
Yeah,
Because we got nothing to talk about.
Nothing.
For nothing to talk about, sounds pretty good to me.
We'll play that etouffee when we come back.
Dalton Orwig in studio with Lacey Smith from
By the way, I've got
Tobias
your email.
and another edition
I
of
was
Law
gonna say, you want me to-
251. Lacey,
I got
a little bit about
You want me to
driving,
introduce it, or you just want to
safety,
start it?
new drivers out
If you
there on the
wanna-
road.
Yeah,
I'll set it up.
Please have a little bit of music, that way it separates between your
Is
voice and
to
your voice.
be an
That'll
example
work.
of yourself as a parent, whether you have small children or
Oh, well,
teens in the
sounds
car.
like
It's
we may
important
have
to
a
model
call.
good behavior that you want to see from them when driving. So that means anything from not speeding to buckling up your seatbelt, make sure that everybody else
Ooh.
is buckled in as well. We are in the iPhone age, so primarily avoiding distractions from cell phones, whether it be phone calls, really texting and driving has become a huge threat on the roads. Statistics show that motor vehicle crashes are the leading cause of death for teenagers from the age of 15 to 18.
So I
it's a
have a
big
question
threat
for
to
you,
most of our
Stu.
lives, which is our
Probably
children.
on
Unfortunately,
Facebook as much as
unfortunately,
I am,
on
or
these
anybody.
sensitive-
Tobias
You see the ads of Rise mushroom
Mushroom
coffee?
5001.
And
Tobias and Comer Law.
it doesn't taste like coffee at all.
Oh, you tried?
I've tried one time. Somebody gave me
keep that
some.
thought, we can come back with that after.
Somebody gave me some for Christmas. And I tried it.
I sure do have some great.
Well, it's not a big fan, but I didn't understand what I was.
Oh, yeah.
I can save it for
remember
the
when
show.
we had the baby.
I'll bring that up after the,
Mike, do you know the name Daniel Duval?
That lady at the coffee shop? Yeah. Do you remember when there wasn't so much traffic on the Bayway?
That's Daredevil right there, isn't it? That's Daredevil, he's out there.
Duval Street.
Yeah, it's named after him.
Okay.
Daniel Duval was the very first mayor of the city of Mobile.
There's no daily
Oh,
newspaper
I don't
anymore.
video on him. He was only mayor for a year.
Don't we have a Duval Street?
Yeah.
And they're breaking local news all day long.
He was the last president of Mobile.
So you read Maniac Daily?
Yeah, 'cause back then,
Absolutely. There's tons of local news there.
This
every
is
day.
still,
Where do you
mayors
live?
and all that, still
Well,
relatively
you know,
new
you'd have to
form
remember
of
to sign
government.
up for Lanyap Daily.
From the
Lanyap
early
Daily,
1800s.
stories that shape our city
Before
every
that,
day.
he was
Lanyap
called the
Daily,
mayor
more
of
than
the board
something
of trustees of
extra
the
day.
town of
If you
Mobile,
haven't
or something like
taxes
that.
Wow.
That's what
this is
cities
important
were
news.
done
Did you
like
know
before
the
that?
IRS has
So he
programs
transitioned, became the
specifically
first
designed to
mayor
help
for a
people
year, and
struggling
then
with
they held the
tax
first
debt.
election.
Powerful tax assistance
And then we had our
programs
first
that can
election.
save you thousands
Who's
if you
Bureau,
qualify. No one
our
knows these
first,
programs better than the experts at Optima Tax Relief, America's
think
most trusted tax resolution
I
firm,
don't know.
A-rated by
He
the
is great.
Better Business Bureau. Their award-winning team of tax attorneys and licensed professionals have resolved over $1 billion of tax debt
They're
for their
usually
clients.
restaurant
One call
tours.
to Optima can start the process, helping to end your worries about wage garnishment, asset seizure, and other IRS actions. Make sure
Hands
you're getting the best
Okay,
options to
Michael.
solve your tax problems. Call the experts at Optima today for a free confidential
Got a phone call
consultation.
from-
Call 800-517-9383. That's 800-517-9383. 800-517-9383.
So do we want to do the call and save the video for the next segment? Because this call may take the whole show. Let's do the call.
Into the complete gastronomic
That's what it
experience.
is.
A big butter and Eggman.
Mike and Stu on FM Talk 106.5.
Mike, are you a big butter and egg man?
I like it with butter.
Yeah.
And I eat eggs every morning.
Every morning.
You're just a big man.
And I might eat them in the evening.
Have you ever steamed your eggs instead of boiling? It's going to change your life. You just let them in steam instead
Oh,
of,
steam them.
yeah, steam them.
I didn't
You
understand.
put the little steamer flour in the bottom of your pot with just a little bit of water. So when you steam, it gets done a lot faster because you don't have to wait for a long time for a bunch of water to boil. But you steam the eggs, same amount of time, about 13 minutes, immediate ice bath. Then you take the back of a butter knife and just do a circle all the way around the thickest part, and then the shells just pop off.
Oh, so you're thinking hard boil.
Yeah, yeah, it's steaming instead of
I
hard
saw
boiled.
something on TikTok that was kind of cool, that they took the little strainer ladle
Mhm.
and you take your scrambled eggs, and as the water is boiling, you roll it in. It's kind of a fluffy egg.
I've seen that in Southeast Asia. They do it in a fryer.
Yeah.
They have the eggs all mixed up, and as soon as they drop them in the oil, they're whisking the
Right.
bejesus out of them there. And this omelet gets like the size of a football.
Right. Right.
Yeah,
Same
like,
kind of
but
thing
I've
with
never
water,
had
it's
one.
just- Yeah, that's kind of an interesting thought.
Yeah, that would be a cleaner way to do it in the boiling water.
You mentioned Delta Safari there earlier. You had kind of
Yeah.
something she wanted to feature.
Yeah, I dropped a little short this weekend about the history of etouffee. And since we are a food show, every now and then wine, food and every now and then wine show, I thought I would play it because it's just me yakking.
Okay, here we go.
Or in this case, to smother. And that's exactly what it does.
Well, I say that.
We'll try that again.
Or in this case,
You're not going back to the beginning, huh?
Well, that's what I was trying to figure out. Why?
Cutting edge radio this morning, folks.
We're professionals here.
down in Louisiana, where the bayous hum and the rice cooks slow, there's a dish that doesn't just feed the belly. It tells a story.
My bad.
Etouffee, from a French word that literally means to choke, or in this case, to smother. And that's exactly what it does. Smother shellfish in a rich, roux-based sauce.
Paul in Grand Bay Bison Cougar 8
Best
links.
and most accurate way to describe that sauce is seafood gravy. Now, is it Cajun or Creole? Well, it depends on who's stirring the pot. Cajun style is earthy, spicy, no tomatoes. Creole, rice, or bacon.
just a tad bit over my village.
I'm sorry.
This is often referred to as shrimp Creole.
Yeah, I see that.
Addition of tomatoes completely changes the flavor and texture, creating an entirely new dish. The legend says it was Aline Champagne, and now legendary restaurant The Rendezvous, who first popularized the dish at Breaux Bridge in the 1940s. A baker tasted it, told all his buddies, and boom, etouffee hit the big time. But historical documents say the initial recipe came from Mrs. Charles Hebert and her daughters, who first served the dish at the Hebert Hotel at Breaux Bridge in the 1920s. It's clear that Breaux Bridge is ground zero for etouffee, which makes sense as it is the crawfish capital of the world. They even have the Breaux Bridge Crawfish Festival, 3-day extravaganza attended by 50,000 people. By the 1950s, etouffee was on menus across the Gulf Coast. By the 1980s, it was a movement, part of the big Cajun food craze of the 1980s. Today, it's a rite of passage. Etouffee isn't just food, it's fusion. French technique, African spice, native ingredients, and Southern soul. One bite, and you're tasting history.
There you go.
What do you think that, Mike? Did you pay any attention?
I
or
like
just
that.
on their Facebook?
I like that. And Breaux Bridge,
Breaux Bridge.
Breaux Bridge, I've been wanting to go there for a long time.
Yeah, at the same time.
I have friends go there to the Crawfish Festival
Where
every
can
year.
they find your Delta Safaris?
On the YouTube at Delta Safari Show and on the TikTok at Delta Safari Show.
And he has quite a bit of them.
Yeah.
Quite a bit of them.
It's 3 years now.
What are your followers? I mean, how many numbers?
Let's see.
You have to check that.
Yeah, well, because it changes all the time, man. I'm always, got stuff going.
Okay.
TikTok, I'm at 2,530 followers. I've only been doing TikTok for a couple of months now.
Wow.
That is 1/4 of the way to monetization, which they do at 10,000.
Right.
And on YouTube, the current count is 769 subscribers, and with YouTube, you monetize at 1,000 subscribers.
Right.
So that one's a little about 80% of the
And
way.
over 100,000, you get your nice little plaque.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that little plaque.
It's got a cool little.
And
press
if you
button.
get that little plaque and you maintain your channel, you're making $1 per subscriber. pretty
That's
much.
sad. That's just so sad.
It is.
That's $100,000 a year.
Well, if you're making 100,000.
Right, that's what I'm saying.
Okay.
When you get that little plaque, you're making about $1 per subscriber. a
I
year.
got you. Okay. That's right. Oh,
Yeah. Before that little
I got
plaque, you were
plaque.
making jack
I
squat.
got plaque. I got to go to the dentist.
Yeah. And all up in your arteries too.
Paul in Grand Bay, how are you this morning?
Hey, Paul, how's the plaque in your arteries doing?
I got something for us to talk about, and we could thank Steve for it when he
Uh-oh.
said cougar. I wonder if Steve ever tried cougar.
Yes.
Because
Yes.
I have heard that lynx is also good, but
Yeah, Chris Sherrill did a soup out of one.
Vanguard around the world tastes different foods. Have you ever tried dog or monkey or things like that. Y'all could talk about how to barbecue and prepare certain things and to make Peter really mad. Remember, people, help save the turtle eggs. They go great with grits, bacon, and sausage. Thank y'all.
Well, there are certain animals that are not legal for consumption in the United States of America, so I have not tried those. Dog is one of them. Cat is another one.
I don't plan on it.
Yeah, I used to have a recipe for Vietnamese dog stew.
Huh.
And it was funny because the first ingredient listed was one
Unless you're the dog.
one medium length hair dog. Now, I don't know why the length of the hair matters. I would think you probably didn't eat the hair, but I didn't. But dog was not the weirdest thing on that on the recipe. I don't remember what it was, but it was something that I was like, oh yeah, that doesn't go well with anything, like durian fruit or something like that, which smells like rotting flesh.
Well, but we're Americanized. We are very soft. We like
it's illegal to eat horse here, and that's ridiculous because it is a delicious protein. From what I understand, I haven't had the chance to try it. And the absolute best thing to fry French fries in is horse fat.
My dad used to tell all the stories when he was growing up. Of course, he's American Indian primarily, and he had dad to eat horse. That was part of the reason why they were called savage by the German. Well, I'm just saying, because you got to look at the diversity now. Mike's over here with his eyeballs curled, but yeah, we don't think about
it's like the typical ugly American over here. If it ain't cow, pig, or chicken.
But if you're starving,
hey, I'll just put it to you like this: the good book says we're supposed to eat every animal. So you don't want to eat every animal. You take that up with the man upstairs. You're defying what he can command you to do.
See what you get.
Heck yeah, let's do some nutrient chili, Mike.
That too fit? No, I'm not going.
Well, I mean, I have had beaver tail.
Yeah.
And over at John Fals's place there at a boucherie 2 years ago.
Y'all, we're not but about 75, 80 years separated from mankind eating whatever it could get its hands on.
Absolutely.
And my dad grew up during the Great Depression. My grandfather came down to Mobile for shipbuilding. My dad was in charge of putting meat on the table at age 4.
Wow.
And he said, I asked him one time after Buddy and I had shot a raccoon and made a raccoon stew with it. And I told him, it wasn't bad. It wasn't great. It's not something I want to do again. And I said, did you ever eat raccoon or possum? He said, nope. I was a good enough shot. We didn't ever have to eat that trash. I kept us full of rabbits and squirrels.
Stuff like that. Exactly. Yeah.
So you always got the fish up.
Yeah.
You still got fish.
Yeah.
Not where I'm from. You gotta have water for that.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. But also you don't need big fish. Because of the time period we're talking about, you don't have to worry about fish, being sustainable. You go out and catch 100 1-inch long fish, you got stew to feed the whole family. Go out and catch 20 parakeets.
It's like rainbow trout. Reminds me of a story. Went out to Colorado and you catch those with salmon eggs. They got little ponds, farm ponds. You go in, you just drop your, Steve's at like 6, 7 years old, just janking. He's saying, "Yeah, there's a number. I'm supposed to get like 3 or 4. I've got like 20 in a minute."
Lord.
My mom and dad were not happy.
251-343-0106. We'll be back in just a minute, y'all.
Yeah, I was pulling them out of there like they were.
I was watching an episode of Anthony Bourdain tonight, and he was at like Zimbabwe or Africa.
Provide a commercial construction
And
project
we're
that stays
just
on task and on
the
budget.
Africans,
For
all the
guaranteed quality
bushmen,
from
they're
start to
out
finish,
there with
call
the
Roy
natives,
Lewis Construction for your
and
next commercial
wearing their
project.
loincloths, and
FM Talk
they have these
1065,
wild
the
dogs,
Gulf Coast Weather
and what they
Authority.
do is they
Dr.
catch them,
Bill Williams.
and I don't know how long that's holding,
Sunny skies
but I mean, they
today,
kill them,
temperatures
but
around 90
then
degrees
whatever
this
food they
afternoon.
have in their intestine,
Mostly
they
clear,
cut the
lows in the
intestine
upper
out and they
60s.
cook it.
And for Monday,
Ooh.
sunny
And
and
they
warmer,
ate that
highs
Anthony
in the lower
Bourdain
90s.
grew up.
This is meteorologist Dr.
Yeah.
Bill Williams.
Well, what is
Well, it would be full of fecal matter.
What is it to be, it's an Irish.
But would it be before it gets to the colon?
Bobcat, the hardest
Yeah,
working
it's still in the process of being
compressors are now
digested.
available at Mobile
Like
Mechanical
fermented.
Services of Mobile.
Would it be like fermented?
Not exactly. It's being broken down by stomach
Can
acid.
keep your operations
I hate
moving forward.
working
Learn more at
Yeah.
Mobile
It's like-
Mechanical
Y'all
They
heading
do.
out for lunch though right now.
That's what it's like chitlin.
Showcase the history, style, arts, dining,
It's like chitlin, but leaving
defines
the,
excellence on
Chili's
It's
just
just
a
a
program
gizzard
called the
that
Wine
gets at
and
the
Food
butthole.
Show.
with our unique
Thank
Southern
you.
Alabama culture, beautifully captured and told through engaging articles.
The text says, why is this show called Wine and Food Show?
We're
talking about wine and food.
Places and faces and
I said wine twice in the last sentence.
So what are you whining about, caller?
I'm Dalton Orwood with Mobile Mornings. We're
That's
making our
what
way
I'm
through
gonna
the
ask.
football
What wine
season.
would I
If you're
have?
like me, the games
Big
are
dog.
already exciting, but
Yeah,
when you
we'll
add
do that.
underdog fantasy,
We'll pair
the
it with
action
animal
goes to
white.
another level.
Have you ever watched the
Place to
show
play
The
all
Faces of
football
Death?
season long, and you can
The
play right
movie,
now
three
in
of movie.
Alabama.
Yeah.
It's simple.
Anyway,
It's your
70s,
favorite
early
They show
player,
this
higher or
actual
lower on
deaths.
stats,
They
like
show these
touchdowns,
people
passing
at a
yards,
restaurant,
interceptions,
and
get
there's
those
a
intros
live
right.
monkey in the
You
middle of their
win up to
table, and
5,000
it's got the
times
head
cash.
called,
With as
and they
little
sit
as
there
$1. I've
There
been
was
playing
the Indiana
right
Jones
now.
movie, whatever that
I've
second
got
one
all the
was.
games I care about.
And they
Alabama,
eat the
Auburn,
monkey
South
brains
Alabama,
and
the
they eat the big
Saints. Once
roaches
you create an
and
entry, you can watch the
Indians.
stats update
Dude, I
live.
can't watch this
You know
movie. I just
instantly
can't
when
do
you
it.
got a winner. It makes every game
Well, I
more
had, I
exciting.
didn't like
So
the
download the Underdog
brain
app
part.
today and sign up with promo code
Consider the
Dalton,
delicacy.
DALTON. You'll
I've
score
never
Yes.
$100 in bonus funds when you play your first
That's all you
$5.
got to
It's
eat.
promo code Dalton, Underdog.
It'll
Make
be
plays
short.
Yeah,
Be money.
you know,
Well,
it
if it's
happened
really
somewhere
good,
along
it
the line, someone said, you know, I ain't starving. I'm going to survive.
See what, if I had to, I'll see what seagulls taste like.
Well, I mean, Gator down here, you know, who was the first person to wrestle? That's
We got plenty of things to eat down there, but you know, when he was talking about cougars,
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you know, if it was,
I'm thinking
think about it, if it was a wolf,
I'm thinking about,
if it was a
I'm
fox,
thinking about,
a fox.
I was thinking about different types of cougars.
Well, I was thinking of a different thing. I said, "Who's too?" But, you know, yeah.
Oh, that's not.
I'm too old to be the cougar.
Mike and Stu on FM Talk 106.5.
We gonna eat that monkey too.
That'd be a different kind of gumbo right there, money.
Michael, our discussions in the last segment about various critters that human
Mhm.
beings can consume begs a question that
Yeah.
only you are talented enough, gifted enough, knowledgeable enough to answer. What would you serve with mountain lion?
You know what?
Yeah, what? Or, it could be a spirit.
Not that I would know.
Absinthe
Not
would
that I
probably
would
help.
know. Yeah, in the end, it would. Not that I would know this.
Right.
But just
Assume it.
thinking about these critters eat a lot of
Natural foods.
natural foods out in their environment.
Right.
So it's going to be gamey and wild. Sauvignon Blanc.
Okay.
Sauvignon Blanc, and then I would go with a Pinot Noir.
So my question here is, how do you
Red wine with Pinot Noir.
make that pairing based on that? What taste or flavor?
You know what,
acid,
What works with other critters?
I've had other-
Similar.
I've had
No, I
other-
mean, the wine itself, the drink, the flavoring, the acidity is.
I've had other wines in other parts of the world paired with what would be considered wild, called in the wild, not farm raised or stuff like that.
Mhm.
And you get to experiment a lot, and then eventually, when you've done it enough, I can eat something and think about what wine will go, and I'll know, oh, this one, or I can drink a wine and think, oh, I wish I had a piece of this or a slice of that, or
With
to go.
pineapple, a fried egg, chunky peanut
See,
butter.
my daughter asked me the other day, she said, do you remember when, you used to like to watch Interview with the Vampire because we're coming into October? And I said,
Mhm.
yeah, I do that. But the first thing that I thought of was the wine that I would drink watching that movie
Mhm.
was Merlot. And for some reason, I make that association. That's why I ask, because there's a certain taste or, I guess an association
Yeah,
for certain things.
Merlot is made a comeback, and that dang movie ruined Merlot there for a while.
But it helped Pinot Noir.
It helped Pinot Noir, and it's still helping Pinot
Sideways.
Sideways,
We're talking
maybe.
about.
But
Paul Giamatti won an Academy Award for Best Actor.
So it's kind of a based on trend too.
what was ironic about that movie was at the very end, he had been sitting on this bottle of Bordeaux the whole movie. He kept hugging it and take care of it, and kept it in the bottom of the closet where it was dark and cool. And then he got upset with his friend and got upset. Thought he had a love interest, and that kind of went to the wayside. So he goes into a fast food restaurant and takes his cup, and he opens that bottle of wine underneath this table and pours it in the paper cup and drinks that bottle. He'd been saving it for a special occasion. Come find out, that bottle of wine, red wine, Bordeaux, was primarily Merlot.
Oops. Somebody lied to somebody.
And a lot of Bordeaux's are. I mean, Bordeaux means, chateau.
It's a style. It's not a variety.
It's Bordeaux is the region, and so you got Merlot, you got Malbec, you got Cab, Cab Franc, and other varieties of grapes being grown in that area because it's from Bordeaux. And if it was from Burgundy, it'd be Burgundy or Burgundian.
So in French, they name it after the region, but or after the wine or the varietal. I'm sorry, the grape.
Well, it's classified as Bordeaux.
Yeah, and that style is Bordeaux, but the grapes, or is it Italy that names it after the grapes? Like saying,
well, the same thing with Italy.
Also fabulous wine.
Fabulous. They have so many hybrid varietals where they crossbred a lot of and grafted a lot of grapes together. They've got just hundreds of maybe thousands of different varieties and varietals, and I'm like, how do you keep up with all this?
It sounds like a George Bush word, varietals. I don't know.
Varietals, and like nuclear.
No, I'm just, I was just making an observation.
I know what you mean, but you just can't. I couldn't do Italy. I would love to try it, go through Italy and drink my way through Italy. But
let's hit on one of the other primary European countries, Greece.
Mm-hmm.
Let's talk about Greece's wine tradition, because they were doing it before Italy or France were doing it.
Yeah, and they were doing it,
but not as well known for it.
Is it Mediterranean?
Well, so is Italy.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean.
Well,
it's something like 70% of civilizations located on the
Spain and Greece and Italy and all that. I mean, along the coast, you're going to have mostly the Mediterranean style wine, which is going to be warm and summery time type of weather for the most part. So they make their wines a little lighter.
But Greece doesn't have as many different.
To me, Greece. I used to sell Greek fests coming up.
Right.
I used to sell,
and that's a delicious red wine that they serve.
Yeah. Well, they also serve. One that's what's the name of it? Forget. It's a white wine, but it's almost tastes like turpentine. Believe it or not. But that is a desired varietal in that country to go with that food from that region. And Verdicchio, is it Verdicchio? I think it's Verdicchio. Anyway. Greek Fest coming up, and I used to sell them their wines. And
that's October 16th to the 19th.
Yeah.
My favorite festival each year.
It's Seafood Fest is going on in Pensacola this weekend. Man.
See, everything October, September, late September through November, everything's trying to pack into one thing.
Yeah, every weekend's something.
Yeah, but anyway, if you get a chance, go to Greek Fest. They do sell Greek wine there and get a chance. It's hard to find Greek wine during the rest of the year.
Right.
Because they bring it in.
Yeah, it's just like if it ain't Passover, good luck finding Manischewitz, right?
What was that? Somebody laughing back there behind that wall.
I spilled back there in his man cave.
It's still
that wasn't a joke. I mean, that's the brand of wine. That is
You're right.
Is Manischewitz.
No, it's usually Moga David makes a
I was
kosher
getting
wine.
at the thing is that's true because in season it's like good luck finding this, good luck finding
Right.
that because
Mhm.
it's so seasonal. It's just like yeah,
But Moga David's their kosher wine is still available year round,
Right.
and
If you go to the kosher section of some of your better
Yeah.
box stores.
yeah.
Now we have one more major nation in Europe left, Spain.
Oh, I love Spain.
And we know the cava is phenomenal.
Mhm.
And
Sparkling.
then sherry is the big thing in Spain. That's what people drink when they get off work. That's where tapas comes from.
I didn't know
People,
that.
yeah, they went to have sherry after work, and they would put something on top of the glass to keep the insects out, because this is prior to refrigerator or air conditioning and all of that.
Mhm.
And then they started putting stuff on top of the piece of bread, but that's where tapas comes from. But sherry is, you don't go for a glass of wine in Spain when you get off work with your buddies, you go have sherry.
I thought sherry was in France. No, I'm totally lost.
Well, I'm sure it's in both of them, but it's the
It's-
culture in Spain,
it's-
especially Barcelona.
It's got a higher sugar content and a higher alcohol content, and it's an aperitif.
Yeah, I would love to do a sherry tasting because I'm fascinated.
He
by
hopped
sherry.
up like a 3-year-old on on Easter Sunday.
But it's customary here on the Gulf Coast when you get she crab soup that they bring you a glass of sherry on the side and you add as much or as little as you
Mhm.
like. It's supposed to be sherry added to a she crab soup, but you control how much.
Now, there's some similarities with Spanish and Italian wines, like the Tempranillo, Tinto, those the great varieties. In Spain, I'm a Rioja guy. Rioja, man, it's just mostly always red.
Mhm.
It's got a great combination to it. It's not,
Mhm.
it's not just one varietal of grape.
Right.
And it's a lot of blend, and just like the Italians, and just like Bordeaux,
Right.
and but Riojas, and I like the ones with the mesh net around the bottle.
Okay.
Those are, and they usually can get anywhere from $12 to $23 to $32 in price. And they're very, very good. All of them in all price ranges.
So that'd be
We have
a
another-
sign of quality then with the netting.
See, them in Italy they have their classifications, and they got the label on the bottles or stamp on the bottle that the government has classified them as this or that or higher in quality.
Okay, so the netting would be like a seal of approval.
Somewhere in the plant. Yeah.
We have another European country. We have
Another?
Yep. Germany.
I
They're too big, or Riesling and Gewürztraminer.
love the around the Alps area. Let's say start with France with
Alsatian.
Alsatians, and then that pours over into Germany. But
Because that's a mountain
and
range.
right? And they share similar foods, similar language, and similar wines. But the Gewürztraminers, great holiday wine because they got so many spices and
You'll
layers
hear
of
in,
flavors.
in 6 weeks when Mike recommends that for your Thanksgiving dinner.
Gewürztraminers, dry Rieslings,
Mhm.
more so than
Than a sweet.
sweet. But the Germans are generally known for their sweet wines, but they're not just a sweet wine with a lot of brick flavor to it. Brick is sugar. They where they measure in bricks, they have a lot of minerality to them.
Okay.
They pick up a lot of the soil, a lot of the limestone and other granite and those things in the mountains and the hills
Right.
that they have. And it's a cold climate wine. And it's going to tends to be sweeter.
And that brings us full circle to what Steve was talking about in the last segment about everything being relative and related to each other.
Mm-hmm.
The terrain.
Or terroir.
Okay. The terrain, the landscape, the climate, all of those affect what types of grapes grow well there.
Right.
And in turn, those grapes then let you taste
Well,
where you are.
Let's say like Malbec.
Right.
Malbec was generally a French grape. It was used to blend with because it couldn't do a lot, but it found its home in Argentina. And Argentina's got a lot of that granite from the mountains second biggest mountain range in the world. But I saw a lot of clay in the soil, and the clay holds moisture.
Right.
Interesting.
Give the phone number, Mike.
251-343-0106 is the call and text line. You got a wine question? Ain't none of them too big for me. Come on. Throw it.
Oh, I don't like.
What would you pair with sweet and sour chitlins?
Huh?
What would you pair with sweet and sour chitlins?
Sour sake.
But there's also the chitlin flavor. What pairs with curd?
That's where you need some home.
It's kind of weird when you start breaking it down, you start thinking about soils and the flavors of solid fresh soils.
Oh, okay.
You want to know more about the actions of state?
But we
What'd
were
you
all
say,
laughing, sir.
Okay.
Steve, what'd you say?
To you and your interest.
I was just saying, it's the same thing with like
You should be
foods
reading the call news.
chicken or what I mean, there's a difference in raising chickens in North Carolina as opposed to chickens in
New Mexico.
Mexico. Yeah, so I mean, just the difference in feed and grain, and we don't think about it.
Purchase the call news at many
Why does this
grocery and
taste different?
convenience stores in
Where's the
South
rate?
Alabama,
Looks like
including
the guys
Walmart,
with
Rouse's, and Circle
Los
K.
Rancheros and
And if your
Aztecas and all that.
doesn't have it,
When they
let
first
us
came
know.
down, we would
We'll
talk
make
to
it
them about
available. If
authentic
you want the
Mexican
call news
food.
delivered to
He
your
said,
home,
well, it
we
depends
can
on
do
what
that
part of
too.
Mexico.
For less than
Right.
$1 per
It's a
week.
huge nation.
Yeah,
Sometimes
it's
you know,
just like here, y'all got seafood here, they got.
Well,
Yeah,
I'm saying,
you know,
people
with
used
Chato.
to say, well, I don't understand the difference between cornbread beef and Texas beef.
Connected to the call news.
Oh, here's the plates. You let me know, and I'll, we can go
Well,
from
in
there.
Argentina, all of that, their beef is grass fed.
Yeah.
There.
If, man, almost 8-inch cheek corners here. Pork and chicken will cost you a lot.
Yep, champs used to get all their beef from Argentina.
Hello, I'm Scott Armstrong.
McDonald's gets all of theirs from Australia, which is the worst.
Sustainable and
What is
cost-effective
Australia?
solution for your
Terrible.
needs.
Yeah, well, look what they got to eat. I mean,
Designing
and then again, that's the whole point.
They could eat spiders.
Since
They
1960.
got shit.
They're big enough. You can eat kangaroo, it's delicious. It makes good jerky. And I'm sure they ate a lot of kangaroo.
That's something I gotta go by Wendy's and Theodore today. They
Y'all got any kangaroo?
They mark their beef, they mark their,
That's
uh,
KEEL.
London broil down. Oh, they mark all the beefs down on Sunday afternoon and I can get me some London broil. I bet they can make me some beef jerky out of it.
I'm on my way.
See, now you mentioned Australia, they're big on,
anxiety, or need someone to
Mhm.
talk to, call
And,
800-273-8255.
you can catch you beat one of them bad boys, you all right, but I mean.
Yeah.
that's tough
I've had an ostrich burger before.
And I have too. I had it, right there in that burger place across from District.
Oh.
In New Orleans.
Well, was it the Eastern Shore, there was a place over there that was raising ostriches.
Oh, yeah, that's
First one I had was in February, which is no longer around, but it was a big gourmet burger chain where all you got was a bun and a piece of meat, and they had the world's largest salad bar with burger toppings. Wow. You could do whatever you wanted.
It's weird, it's ostriches mating. You ever seen that?
Sip and chew. Call 343-0106. Now back to Mike and Stu.
So, quick text line says Retsina.
Retsina, yeah, Retsina's great, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the
What
one.
is it, Mike?
The Retsina is the one that's more like
Is that a
that's probably the most popular Greek wine.
Orzo? Same kind of thing, Orzo? Is it-
That, you're thinking
Well,
of ouzo, which is a
ouzo.
liqueur made with an e-seed, I believe. It's kind of licorice.
Let me tell you what, it wasn't, when I moved to, when I got in the wine business, there were 15 to 20 Greek owned restaurants in this town.
Mhm.
Lots of them. That's considered a lot. You had Corbett's, you had Constantine's, you
Oh, Corbett's was a great
What do you
steak.
think of the change with our new mayor?
you had, I forget the one there in Spanish Fort where Lowe's is right now. But there were Russo's, of course. I learned so much from John Russo about service industry. And he was like my godfather to teach me about how to treat people and
Mhm.
and how to support local. He was big with me on that, supporting local. So spend your money, people spend their money with you. And I always try to do that. But there were so many great restaurants back during that time. And I got the opportunity to get to meet all these people. After at Greek Fest, they would say, "Hey, Mike, come and sit with us." And after everybody's done left, and you got to sit around with the old guys, the seasoned guys, as, you know, they're in their 80s, and sit there and drink ouzo with them. And
I bet you the wisdom started flowing later on too.
well, you couldn't hardly understand them. A lot of them they worked in the shipping industry,
Sure.
and they worked in restaurants, and a lot of some of your
It's only what, 2 weeks away? 19?
Yeah.
3 weeks away?
3 weeks away, maybe.
Greek Fest?
But it was such an honor to be able to sit with those old guys and listen to the stories about coming over, and a lot of them keep going back. A lot of them keep going back.
To the old country
Yeah.
kind of thing?
And I see my great friends now, they'll take their kids when they graduate from high school or college, they'll take them over there and stay the summer. God, I wish I'd go anywhere and stay the summer.
Like the other text, they said, when we were in Germany for 5 years, there was an ice wine for the holidays.
Oh, yeah.
Grapes were picked and processed after the first frost.
Yeah, they do that in Niagara too. Some of the most expensive ice wine in the world is from Niagara Falls area on the Canadian side. And
Delicious. Tastes like Welch's grape juice with a punch.
in a skillet.
Yeah. Very familiar.
And
with
the French have some versions, and they do other parts of the world too. But they'll wait, and they're like raisins on the vine, and they'll wait till they freeze, and then crazy people will get out there at 3 or 4 in the morning and pick them all. And they had to put nets over some vineyards because the birds come and eat them. And so, what you do is you pick them while they're frozen, and then you press them, and you get one little drop of nectar out of each grape, just about. And then that's why it's so expensive.
I was going to say, yeah.
And that's why it's such a dark color, a brownish color, because it's pure sugar. And you don't drink that, and they come in small bottles. They come in 375 milliliters, and in slender bottles, and beautiful, nice artwork on them, designs. Yeah, but that's meant for dessert. That's not meant to sit there and drink a 5-ounce glass.
My quick question, just another quick question, just because of curiosity triggered me. Plastic versus glass. Obviously, there's a difference.
Well, here's the
taste
problem
of
with
these things.
wine is a food product. It continues to grow and change in the bottle. So you need glass.
Yeah, because plastic is porous. There's still, that's why it's such a horrible container for milk, is bacteria is still passing in and out of the container. It doesn't stop bacteria from.
I don't even think you see plastic corks anymore. They got rid of those plastic corks because they're porous. And actually, in all reality, the screw cap is probably the best prophylactic there is for wine to keep air from. One, they can vacuum it, and two, it can keep air from getting into the bottle and
spoiling
and stuff that's spoiling. If you had invented cork today and stuck it in, if wine was invented today and you stuck a piece of wood in it, people think you're crazy. But actually, the screw cap is the best preventative, best measure to save wine.
There's a good seal.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
and they use cork because that's all they have. And the cork tree was about 3 or 4 inches thick, and they punched the cork out, and it's swollen, and then they could squeeze it down and get it in the bottle.
Okay.
Now, tripping back to the ouzo in Greece, there's a great dish made with that called saganake. And anyone can make this at home. It takes 3 ingredients: a big square piece of feta cheese, some ouzo, and a lighter. And you put the feta in the middle of a like an iron skillet, pour the shot of ouzo on top of it, and light the ouzo. When it burns out, you just take your pita bread and dip it through it.
Ooh.
Fantastic. I did a variation on this.
You don't have to do any oil or anything that way?
Nope. It makes its own sauce when you do that. I did a variation that I call queso en fuego. And I take a big wedge of pepper jack cheese, pour some high proof tequila on top, light it on fire, And once the fire goes out, you've cooked off the alcohol at this point. You're
Mhm.
left with the flavor. That sauce that pepper jack and tequila forms with tortilla chips is unbelievably good.
Game day.
Yep.
Yeah, that sounds something that the Browns would eat. Browns
They would eat
You better
dirt.
watch out.
That's what they would eat, dirt.
I say, I think the Cleveland
Like
Indians,
dirt cake.
it's the Cleveland Indians win today. I'm not gonna call them the Commanders. I'm gonna call them the Indians. If they win today, they get to go to the playoffs.
Who cares? It's baseball.
I know, I'm just, but it's
I'm
Cleveland.
surprised we have almost gone a full hour and Mike has not said anything about Bama and their win.
And congratulations.
Congratulations, good.
Yeah.
We're not a sports show.
Yeah.
That's true.
And Mike did not play yesterday.
Jimmy Georgetown says ouzo is also a main ingredient in fennel cured salami. Is that?
Oh, really?
I'm sure that fennel is also a big ingredient.
I wish we had some,
I'm sorry, that's
salmon.
Oh, yeah.
I wish we had some good Greek
Salmon,
restaurants.
salami, same thing.
I wish we had some authentic Greek restaurants
Check my glasses.
back here again. I mean, we had so many.
But
of
we
them.
have a buddy named Alec Naaman that can make you anything they do. Yeah, his stuffed grape leaves are phenomenal.
We need to get him in on the show maybe in a couple of weeks.
Oh,
Kent.
I can have him walk in the door any minute, man.
He's here every Friday, isn't he? I want to tell you, speaking of congratulations to Lucy Greer's husband, Spiro. You know, I like Lucy a lot. She's sweet. She's got a culinary degree. She knows what she's talking about. And I think Stu knows that. And I just wonder if she's going to get to do any more cooking shows. She might be too busy.
I don't know.
Being Mobile's first lady, but congratulations. Do we have any birthdays today? I didn't see
Today?
anybody.
No,
I didn't see
I
anybody.
didn't see anybody recent this week
Mhm.
that anybody here locally would know.
Mm.
There might have been some folks nationally that I'm friends with, but nothing really stuck out to me. Well, let's see. The Hangout Gulf Shores has created an event.
Mm.
Free live music, thin ice
There's nothing
at
going
the
on.
Hangout.
Because there was two things I was involved in that they've canceled both because of no interest.
Oh, I just figured because the weather was too nice.
Folks, get out to support local. Be local, buy local. Tip your servers, earn your tips, and
Provolone.
Uzo.
Happy.